Rimworld. Welcome to Rimworld, where surviving is as much about managing your colonists' personalities as it about battling raiders, extreme weather, and of course, the occasional manhunting squirrel. Those damn manhunting squirrel. Anyway, here you start with nothing but a handful of survivor, a crashed spaceship, and a dream of one day getting off this planet. Easy, right? Well, kind of. You see, Rimworld isn't about perfection. It's about figuring out how to make the best of the bad situation. It's about building a thriving colony, one that can withstand everything the universe throws at it, even if that means losing a few colonists to their own poor decision. So sit back, relax, and join me as we try to survive this chaotic world together. Spoiler alert, there's a good chance we won't. So here's the story about 3 nudist cannibal. Meet Daniel Stone, a mechanic engineer with a big dream and an itchy leg. Daniel is a construction god with a burning passion for crafting. Weapons, armor, furniture, you name it, he'll build it. He's the guy holding the colony together. Like literally. But don't let the wimpy vibes fool you. With an 8 in shooting and a careful shooter trait, Daniel's your colony sniper. Just don't expect him to rush the front line, he's more of a one-shot, one-kill kind of guy. Now for the quirk, he's a wimp, so a paper cut might put him out of the commission. Oh, and he's jealous. If someone has a better bedroom, he'll start sulking until you upgrade his. Daniel is the architect, crafter, and a long-range defense. Treat him right or he might be crying in his meh bedroom while raiders burn down his masterpiece. Next up, we got Lamilla Fisher, or you could call her Milla, a 51 years old survivalist with an attitude for work and a love for plants. Sure, she's technically 83, but let's not dwell on the space math. Milla grew up as a jungle kid, swinging through vines and surviving off the land. Then she did a full 180, becoming an aromatherapist. Now she's the colony go-to for lavender-scented trauma recovery. With a plant skill of 12 and a burning passion, Milla's basically a farming goddess. She'll have crops sprouting faster than you can say rice harvest. And her cooking skill of 11, gourmet meals for everyone. And for our last colonist, meet Chris Derricks, age 45, a night owl, an industrious worker, and a counselor for this dysfunctional colony. Well, it started with a simple task, cutting down trees to build a colony, but somewhere between the splinter and the sweat, something blossomed. And just like that, while chopping trees in the middle of nowhere, Derricks and Milla becomes lovers, because nothing says romance like deforestation. Here's hoping their relationship is sturdier than the trees they just cut down. When Derricks and Milla become lovers, I thought what a better way to celebrate than building them a nice double bed. Romantic, right? Well, there was just one small problem. You see, in Rimworld, love isn't enough to share a bed. You've gotta be married first. And guess who forgot that little detail? And so, my beautiful gift of love became nothing more than a decorative monument to my failure as a colony architect. I guess they have to wait for a wedding before they can upgrade. For now, separate bed it is. Nothing says romance like shouting good night across the room. There Milla was, peacefully planting rice for the colony. And there it was, a ward, casually strolling through our fields, like it owned the place. I wasn't about to wait and see if it wanted rice or Milla. Sometimes in Rimworld, you've just gotta take matters into your own hand. It was man versus beast, shots were fired, the ward lunged, and for a second, I thought maybe this was a bad idea. But in the end, the colony was safe. Milla went back to the farming like nothing happened. And I had one less threat to worry about. And hey, we got some fresh meat out of it. Dinner's on me tonight. If you're loving the video so far, why not hit that like button to let me know. And also subscribe if you want more content like this. And hey, maybe even leave a comment and tell me about your craziest Rimworld moment, or just say hi. Who knows? So welcome to Maides Encampment, the name I totally randomized. Sounds like a cleaning crew setup shop, right? And our faction? The self-ruling coalition of Isoberon. Fancy, but trust me, we're barely holding it together. Just when things were looking grim, Randy decides to bless us with cargo pods of food. A miracle straight to the chaotic heavens. Was it luck, mercy, or just Randy setting us up for a disaster later? Who knows? For now, we eat like kings. Thank you, Randy. Ah, a quest from the refuge of Imperium, no less, a noble knight, and a request to keep her safe. It was all going fine until I saw the creature we had to protect her from. Now I could send Derek into battle, but I had other plans. Why fight a hare when you can just let the knight do it? Well, I snatched that sweet siling for Derek. So I accepted the quest, gave Derek a knowing look, and let the knight handle the hare. After all, this is the knight we're talking about. She should have no problem dealing with a bloodthirsty rabbit. And sure enough, the hare was no match for the knight. Meanwhile, Derek got the siling. Everyone wins. The first raid from the Toxoid organization, one guy, and while most would panic, I had a much simpler solution. Let the spike trap do the work. One quick step into the trap and bam, instant raider kebab. Honestly, I didn't even break a sweat. And hey, free food, cause we're cannibals. It's not just survival, it's efficiency. So, 3 refugees showed up at the gates. Their leader, Theo, begs for shelter after being banished from their town for moral disagreement. And while he's explaining all that, all I could think was more free food. Now Theo's offering to work and fight for free. That's tempting, but what really gets me is the stats. Time to play the who's useful and who's not game. Zach, definitely worth keeping around for recruitment. But Theo and Dennis, well, they're about to become more useful in a different way. Here's where the real genius kicks in. I remember that AC heating from the other room that produced a lot of heat, so I drafted all of them and locked them in a room until they pass out from heat stroke. And just like that, Theo and Dennis are no longer just refugees, they're organ donors. Efficient, right? So we get free labor, free food, and some fresh organ for later. What a win. So, after our little strategy with the refugees, it was time for Dennis to make his final contribution to the colony. And no, it wasn't fighting off raid, it was Mila, our resident doctor, harvesting his organ. Ah, Dennis, you may have been banished for moral reason, but here in Maides Encampment, you're helping the colony, just in a very different way than you expected. Thanks to Mila's skilled hand, Dennis is now part of the stockpile. Free food, free organs. Who knew refugee problems could be solved so easily? Now, as for Theo, well, his fate was much like Dennis. You see, we already harvested what we needed from Dennis, but Theo still had a few valuable parts left. Mila, our trusted doctor, gets to work once again. I'm sure Theo didn't expect a warm welcome, but let's face it, he's about to contribute in the most Rimworld way possible. Theo might have thought he was just getting a little rest and recovery, but instead, he's making sure Maides Encampment stay well supplied in the most efficient way possible. With his organs now safely tucked away, Theo's contribution is now complete. Not exactly the hero's journey he imagined, but hey, we all have our parts to play in this grand scheme of things. And with both Theo and Dennis now part of the resource pool, the colony keeps running smoothly. It's all just part of the Rimworld cycle. Ah, would you look at that? Randy strikes again, and this time it's a group of travelers in desperate need. They beg for silver to buy back a kidnapped friend. Their leader, Wish, seems like the kind of person who would do anything to get that silver. But let's be honest, I'm seeing opportunity here. Now, I could give them the silver, I could play the moral hero, but where's the fun in that? Instead, I start drafting everyone into our plan. First, Wish. This drifter has recruitment potential written all over them. Derek gets drafted to handle Wish, just a little arrest for future recruitment. Nice and easy. But the real plan, Marcy. Marcy though, well, she's a child, and I'm not heartless, but this is Rimworld, and we've got a cannibal colony to run. She's about to become another meal for the team. With Wish in custody, it's time to carry out the real plan. For now, let's just say Marcy has become part of the colony supply chain. It's harsh, but hey, this is Rimworld. If you don't have silver, you've gotta have something else to offer. And Marcy, well, she was just in the wrong place at the wrong time. And with Wish safely locked up, we've got a new recruit in the making. And hey, free food too. Randy really knows how to make things interesting, doesn't he? Look at that, Zach has officially joined the colony, from desperate refugee to a valued member of Maides' Encampment. Well, the only refugee we decide to keep, but still. He's already earning his keep, working hard, pulling his weight, and most importantly, not ending up on the menu. That's more than we can say for Theo and Dennis. Welcome to the team, Zach. You survived the trials and now you're part of the chaos. Here's hoping you stay useful and stay out of the freezer. As they go by, our food situation starts to look grim. Desperate times call for desperate measure. And what's better than a big old rhino feast? Time to hunt. Rhino hunting is no joke. One wrong move and your colony could be in serious trouble. So naturally, I drafted everyone. Zach and Mila on melee, Derek and Stone on shooting. Safety in numbers, right? The plan was simple. Lure the rhino towards the spike trap while everyone else got into the position to attack. What could go wrong? And it worked. Well, mostly. The spike trap did some damage, but Zach and Mila had to jump in for the final blow. Talk about teamwork. One rhino down. And suddenly, our food crisis is looking a whole lot better. Who needs crops when you've got a freezer full of prime rhino meat? With the altar finally complete, it was time to choose our spiritual leader. Someone to guide us, inspire us, and totally enforce our cannibalistic nudist value. Naturally, the choice was obvious. Derek. Derek was already a crack shot and a capable leader, but now he's our priest, the voice of the self-ruling coalition of Ezeberon, the one who makes sure our ritual runs smooth and our sacrifice are, well, appropriately celebrate. And honestly, he's a natural. Who knew that under all that trigger discipline was a heart full of spiritual wisdom, or at least enough to keep everyone convinced. With Derek as our priest, the colony has never been more united or more terrifyingly committed to our unique way of life. Another one bites the dust, or in this case, joins the colony, which has officially swapped sides and pledged loyalty to the self-ruling coalition of Ezeberon. After some gentle persuasion, imprisonment, some fine meals, and a little convincing, Wish saw the light and now part of the team, ready to work, fight, and hopefully not end up on the menu. Sure, they're still adjusting to our unorthodox way of life, but hey, nothing brings people together like shared meals, especially when they're part of our unique diets. Wish has already proven to be a solid recruit. Welcome to the family. Just remember, loyalty is a two-way street, and we've got plenty of spike traps. And here comes our second raid, straight out of a Bovloten? Bovloten? Honestly, I don't even know how to pronounce it, but these Neanderthals sure do know how to make an entrance. One of them didn't even make it past the spike trap. Classic rookie mistake. If you're going to raid us, maybe don't walk directly into an obvious death contraction. And the other one, well, they took one look at their impaled friend and decided it wasn't worth it. So much for Neanderthal bravery, huh? On the bright side, free loot and more food. Thanks, Bovloten. Or whatever your name is. Next time, maybe send a group with at least one brain cell between them. Third raid, same faction, one guy. Honestly, I thought this isn't worth the hassle. Let the spike traps handle it. Easy, right? But no, this guy walked through every single trap like they were mild inconvenience. Tough doesn't even begin to describe it. So now we're doing the old-fashioned way. Everyone's drafted. Derek grabbed his revolver, Stone readies the rifle, and Mila and Zach gear up for melee. Time to show this guy what happens when you underestimate Maides' Encampment. It wasn't pretty, but we got him. Tough bastard nearly made it to the freezer, but in the end, the colony stand victorious. And hey, free gear and dinner. Lesson learned, never underestimate a lone raider, especially one built like a tank. Next time, we're doubling the traps, or at least making sure they actually work. A mad buffalo, no big deal, we got traps for this exact reason. So I just sat back and let the defense do their thing. And sure enough, it worked perfectly. A few spikes later, and the big guy bled out right there. Free meat, free leather, and absolutely zero effort. Gotta love it when nature doesn't fight back too hard. But the real plot twist, a random red fox decide it liked our vibe and tame itself. Just throw right in like, hey, I live here now, and honestly, I'm not complaining. So in one day, we gain a mad muffalo worth of resource and a new furry friend. Sometimes Rimworld is kind enough to give you a win. Between all the chaos and organ harvesting, of course. Ah, another raid. Just another day in Maides' encampment. You taking this time, huh? I'm not even worried. Our traps will handle it. See, this is why we built this trap. Just watch as they walk right into their doom. First raid, clear. Nice and easy. No sweat, no hassle. Wait, what? A second raid? Seriously, Randy? You're really piling it on today, aren't you? Well, this is awkward. All the traps are already used up, because we'll have to handle this the old-fashioned way. Alright, no more relying on traps. It's time to fight for real. Let's see how tough these Yitakin really are when faced with our actual soldier. And there we go, no traps, no problem. The colony got this handled the old school way. Another raid down, another victory for Maides' encampment. Randy threw us a curveball, but we made it work. More food, more loot, and plenty of bloodshed. Just another day in the life of Rimworld colonists. Another raid, another piles of bodies. And you know what that means? Mila's about to go to work. Mila doesn't waste a second, no grief, no hesitation, just get to work. She knows the drill, chop chop chop, free food, free leather, and a whole lot of resource. While everyone else is catching their breath, Mila's turning those raiders into dinners and clothes. I guess in this colony, you're either fighting or getting eaten. Or both. And just like that, another day of harvesting is done. No mess, no fuss, just efficient, practical survival. And hey, no one's complaining about the food supply. Ah, Randy's at it again. This time, a damaged shuttle filled with refugees from the League of Codafol needs to place the land. They're being attacked by imps from the same faction, and apparently they need help. But you know what? This one caught my attention because of the reward. So here's the deal. The shuttle down, they're under attack, and I've been offered a new recruit, Hoshi. If I help them out, sounds good, right? Except here's the thing, I'm not even going to do anything. The refugees seems pretty capable, don't they? I just let them handle it. They're the ones who need the help, not me. I mean, sure, the imps are tough, but this guy, they've got this. Why bother risking my own colonists when these troopers are perfectly capable of taking care of themselves? Not my problem. Look at that. The job's done. And Hoshi joining the colony. No effort on my part, just a little bit of hands-off leadership. Who knew it could be this easy? Ah, more raiders. This time it's a bunch of Neanderthals. They got their clubs, they're charging in, but I'm not exactly losing any sleep over it. At this point, these raids are becoming a routine. A few Neanderthals charging in thinking they've got a chance against us. Not even worth getting excited about. Let's be real, this guy don't stand a chance. All we have to do is stay calm, let the traps do their work. And oh wait, no need, the colonists are already on them. Yeah, that's about how I expect this to go. The Neanderthals try to fight back, but it's just a bunch of colonists tag teaming them. No contest. And that's the last of them. Not even one of them made it past a few hits. The last guy, he didn't just get beaten, he got gang up on. Another raid handle, another round of body to harvest. Honestly, it's almost too easy at this point. Alright, here we go again. Yitakin raiders. It's like they're on some sort of frequent flyer program to Maides' encampment. Seriously, how many times is this going to happen? Of course, they crash right into Stone's bedroom. I mean, why not? It's almost like they're targeting his sleep schedule at this point. Ah, they're charging in now, all full of confidence. But here's the thing, we got teamwork, we've got firepower, and we got Mila with a knife. Guess what's about to happen? Look at them go. The Yetikin come charging in, but they're quickly surrounded. Mila's making a mincemeat out of them, while Derek's popping shots from behind cover, and Zach, well, he's just enjoying the chaos. And then there was one last Yetikin standing, and well, that didn't last long. Sorry buddy, but you're outnumbered. Go take a nap in the freezer. Another raid over, and no one ever broken a sweat. Honestly, I'm starting to think the Yetikin are here just for the free food at this point. Wait, what? Giant insects? In the freezer? Yeah, that's definitely a problem. Of all the place to tunnel in, they picked the freezer. Seriously? What's next? And in the freezer too? And Mila, always the brave one, charges in, only to lose her left eye to one of these monstrous pests, just when you think you've seen it all. Well, we got them out, but the freezer's a mess, and Mila's down one eye. Let's just hope we've got enough food left to keep her going. Mila may have lost an eye, but she's not losing her spirit. This is just another day in the life of a colony survivor. Alright, I'm just gonna come out and say it. This has gotten out of hand. Raids, infestation, and everything in between. Randy's been relentless, and honestly, I'm starting to lose track of everything. I haven't had a moment to breathe since this all started. It's been years since I last played Rimworld, back when it was still in alpha. I'm rusty, and things are definitely not going as planned. But here I am, still going, because let's face it, this game is incredibly addictive. I'm not even playing this well, and yet here I am, sticking with it. It's one more raid, one more disaster, and I can't stop. It's like the game sucks you in, even when you're about to lose everything. See, that's the thing about Rimworld. It's one of those games where everything can go wrong, and you can't help but keep going. You lose a colonist, you're out of food, you get attacked by some giant insect, and somehow you still want to keep playing. It's like the game knows how to keep you hooked. No matter what, it's exhausting, it's overwhelming, but you can't stop. You want to build that perfect colony, keep your people alive, and somehow you end up addicted. Every time you think you're done, the game throws you right back into the fire, and you just can't quit. I kept it vanilla this time, no mods or anything fancy, just pure unfiltered chaos. And boy, was that a ride. No extra help, no shortcut, just me against Randy whims, and whatever he threw my way. It's not always pretty, and it's definitely not easy, but the challenge, the randomness of it all, is so compelling. You're just constantly on your toes, trying to make it through, and you'll never know what's coming next. It's chaos, yes, but it's also oddly rewarding. Maybe next time I play with mods, add a little more control. But for now, this vanilla chaos is kind of my thing. It's relentless, frustrating, and honestly a little addicting, and I can't wait to dive back in. I would love to tell more stories about this game, but for now I think we've earned a rest. Next time maybe we'll have a bit more luck, or at least a little more peace. Until next time, goodbye.